All right, in this video, we're going to talk about Ashcreek. Ashcreek is a neighborhood in Southwest Portland that really is a hidden gem. There's areas around Southwest Portland I think people know a little bit more about, Multnomah Village, South Burlingame, for example. But Ashcreek, just south of Multnomah, well, south and a little bit west, has so much to offer for anybody who has their eye on Southwest Portland. Stay tuned to learn more. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem with the Home Team Brokers coming to you from Southwest Portland, Oregon today. And again, we're going to talk about a neighborhood called Ashcreek. Ashcreek is not an enormous area. There's about 5,500 people who live here. This is a very typical Southwest Portland neighborhood in a lot of ways, but it's an area overall that tends to fly under the radar a little bit. You're a little bit further south and a little bit further west, and a lot of people probably start looking, at least initially, when they're looking in Portland and in particular in Southwest Portland. But Ashcreek really has something to offer everybody. There are smaller starter homes, big 5 bedrooms, 3,500 plus, 4,000 square foot homes, everything in between. And by the way, we've helped so many people relocate to Oregon and move to the Portland metro area. As real estate professionals, we love to help with that process. So if that's you, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. Either way, we would love to help with your move to Portland. There is kind of the older side and the newer side. Most of it is a little bit older, you know, 50s and 60s, a lot of mid-century modern. There are some older homes, 30s, 40s, 100-year-old homes in this area. But then you have a really, really big development furthest west here in Ashcreek, where you have some larger, newer homes, probably built somewhere around late 80s, 90s, into the 2000s. So there's a lot of good variety here for sure. Again, this is an area that really checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Now, Ashcreek, like a lot of neighborhoods in Southwest Portland, don't have kind of a central entertainment district or Main Street area with the bars and the restaurants and the coffee shops and all of that. This lives much more like a suburban area. You're in Portland. You're really only about 12 minutes probably from downtown Portland, you know, 10 to 15 depending on traffic and time of day and everything. You do have Multnomah Village though, very close. So bordering Ashcreek is Multnomah Village. You also have Maplewood to the north, and then south you have areas like West Portland Park. But you're really not going to get any type of commercial development or commercial areas in Ashcreek. Again, you have Multnomah Village, a very popular area, and I mean just a 5-minute drive from anywhere you would be in Ashcreek. And then you have Garden Home to the west as well. So Garden Home gets into unincorporated Washington County. It's still a Portland address, still kind of feels like a Southwest Portland neighborhood. But in Garden Home, you have a Trader Joe's that just went in. I know that's big for a lot of people. You have an Ace Hardware store that just went in there as well. And you have a couple restaurants, couple bars, your Starbucks, Black Rock Coffee, a local coffee spot, which is my preference, and at least pretty quick access to groceries, hardware, things like that. Now you do have like your Fred Meyer's and your bigger grocery stores on Barber Boulevard, which is really close to Ashcreek as well. So Barber Boulevard, Highway 99, you're gonna get, I mean, all kinds of stuff, you know, in terms of what you would need in your day-to-day life, you know, your Jiffy Lube and your Les Schwab, and again, grocery stores, some restaurants, a lot of fast food, things like that. But in Ashcreek, again, it's really insulated and it's very residential. Again, feels very suburban. Now, if this is your first time to the channel or you've been here and you haven't already and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap that little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. So Taylor's Ferry, being south of here, is at a higher elevation than Garden Home, goes down into kind of a like a little holler where you have a lower elevation. So this whole Ashcreek neighborhood is really kind of a gradual hill from Taylor's Ferry down to Garden Home. This area has a really interesting dynamic, and I can offer some unique insight on this because I grew up in Ashcreek. Right up around that corner was the house that I grew up in. So this is an area that is obviously very near and dear to my heart, being where I grew up. But I can give a little bit, maybe more of a local perspective, although I haven't lived here in quite a long time. I still don't live too far, and I get up into this area quite a bit. But where I'm standing right now, George Smith Elementary School. This is actually where I went to elementary school, and this has been shut down for about 15 years. And the reason they shut it down because there weren't enough kids in this area to attend the school. So they went to nearby Markham, which isn't that far, but not quite as close as, you know, this elementary school that's right in the middle of Ashcreek. I think what happened is, I know that when I grew up here, there were a ton of kids everywhere. You go up and down every street and there's kids riding their bike and kids playing. I think that a lot of the families that had kids that grew up here in the, you know, the 80s, the 90s, maybe into the early 2000s, stayed here. A lot of empty nesters around here, and it just hasn't quite turned around to start to fill the demand for the school. That's a little bit of speculation, but that would make a lot of sense as to, you know, why it was a full school 25, 30, 40 years ago to, being vacant now. But Portland Public Schools still owns the property. There's like 10 acres here, if I had to guess. I mean, at least 8, maybe 12 acres. It is an enormous property. So if you live in Ashcreek, odds are you can actually walk here or you can drive here just in a couple minutes. And, big flat property. So it's a great place to throw the frisbee, let your dog run around, whatever you'd want to do. Or, just a place to take the kids. It still has the playground, great place to ride the bike, has the basketball court. So, this is really like the only park in this neighborhood. You have this building here, so you have the old school, but, it really is just like a park now. I think a lot of Portland neighborhoods, especially on the east side of the river, but even in Southwest to some degree, there are more than one major roads, thoroughfares that are kind of running right through. So you get a little bit more of a diverse mix as far as, the types of houses, and you have some apartment buildings smattered throughout. And it's just a little less kind of homogeneous and uniform. But again, you get through here in Ashcreek, it is very quiet. This isn't an area where people are driving through, so there's no like through traffic in this area. Again, you have Taylor's Ferry Road on the south side and Garden Home Road. Garden Home Road is I think somewhat of a major road going through there, but it's really probably going to be pretty much local traffic too, for the most part as well. But point being is this is definitely one of the quieter neighborhoods that you can get in Southwest Portland, definitely in all of Portland. Ashcreek is not going to be the most expensive area of Portland, but it's definitely not going to be the least expensive area of Portland either. Again, there's a pretty big range in terms of what you can get as far as housing goes. But, nicer homes, newer homes that have been really well cared for, remodeled, for example, you're definitely paying a little bit of a premium living in a neighborhood like this. Again, just because of the dynamic you have where it's quiet, it's private, it's nice, it's clean, you don't get people coming through, no through traffic. We're in Portland. You're not going to see a tent anywhere around here, but you're 10, 12, 15 minutes to downtown Portland. You can also get out to Beaverton very easily. So if you work at Nike, for example, or, any other of the companies that are in Beaverton, or really even out all the way in Hillsborough, I mean, we're already on the west side, quick, easy access to the main roads and highways that run east-west, to get out west into Beaverton. This is an area too that, like a lot of neighborhoods in Portland, very scenic, big mature trees. I mean, definitely no exception here. A very wooded area. You don't really get the tree-lined streets. You do in some cases, like there is there, but this is the back of somebody's property right here. But a lot of the streets you go up and down, you don't get the tree-lined streets on the sidewalks. In fact, there's not really a lot of sidewalks around here. That's another interesting thing, whereas in a lot of Portland neighborhoods, you get a lot of sidewalks, even walking paths, kind of, trails, things like that. You don't get that as much in here necessarily, but I think it just has to do with, when this was developed, which was primarily in the 50s. So the average year of homes built here in Ashcreek was 1958, which is going to be quite a bit newer than a lot of other neighborhoods in Portland, even some in Southwest Portland. So we're a little bit further west, a little bit further south, a little bit further away from the city. As you get further away from the city, the neighborhoods tend to get a little bit newer. But I don't think many people would drive around here and say this is a new area. I would say, you know, people would probably consider this to be a bit, you know, like a mature area. A lot of mid-century modern homes, which is very desirable. You know, there have been some tear downs over the years where you drive around and you see where there was probably an old house that was torn down and there's been some new construction built up. Actually, you know, when I was growing up here, a few blocks that way, probably 3 blocks by 6 blocks, it was all undeveloped. So we used to actually take like a 4-wheeler ATV and ride around there and go, you know, walking around kind of in the woods. But you drive through there now, and there's homes that were built, like I would say in the 2000s, around that era. So you do get a little bit of a mix there, but with the average year of homes being built here in 1958, I think going around, driving around, what you see really does reflect that. Hey, so if Ashcreek is an area that looks interesting to you, if you want to talk more about Ashcreek or areas that are similar to this, although this is kind of one of a kind here, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. On that call, we can talk about what your preferences are, what your lifestyle is, your budget, your timeline, really put together a game plan for you so we can start focusing in on the right areas. And if this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.